Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. My name is Alison. I'm a certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with women to help them find and keep the partners that they deserve. Every Wednesday, I do this live Q&A. So let me break down exactly how it works so that folks who are new to my page know how to submit their questions in advance. And if you are new to my page, this is the first time that you have ever seen me go live, please go ahead and, sorry guys, I have to institute a block party for people who are rude and don't remember that I am married. Yes, so for those who are new to my page, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and where you are from so that I can appropriately welcome you to the land of love. Hello, David, welcome. Lawrence, Kalia, hope I got that right, Kalia Cupcake. BJ Smith, welcome. Simply B, Kev Steele. Hello, Rima. How are you, boo? Evolve with Valencia. Thank you for joining us. We have gorgeous Nell. Melanie is in the building. We have Derek is here. Jazz, the finest ace 1908. Whitney is in the building. Hello, Caroline. Hello, Brittany. Hello, Mike. Hello, everyone who is joining. I welcome you. And Kelly, who is coming in from Canada. We have Vanessa from Orlando. Guess what, Vanessa? I'm going to be in Orlando in like 10 days. I'm very excited. Jay is in the building. Jay, did you get the email that we sent out last night? Let me know. We have gorgeous Nell from Chicago. Hello, hello. We have Cherie, who is from San Francisco, California. Hi, Mike. How's it going? Angie's in the building. Is it Ima, who's from Philly? Yancey from Brooklyn. Where in Brooklyn you at, Yancey? I'm gonna say I'm in Harlem. I'm wildin'. I'm in Canarsie. My husband's from Harlem. We have Nene, who is from Cleveland. Hello, hello, hello. So this is how it works, y'all. Every Tuesday evening around this time, I go ahead and I drop this story. It's the same exact story, the same green background with me in a green shirt with the half up, half down and a little question box, right? In that question box is where you drop your question, which I will then cover during today's live Q&A the next day, which is the Wednesday, okay? That is the only way that I accept questions is in advance, unless magically we have additional time, which I'm going to tell you is extremely rare because either after this session, I have a group session, I have a one-on-one session, or I need to get back to my baby. So the likelihood of us having extra time, I highly doubt. Please go ahead and pay attention. Every Tuesday, I drop this story. I can also send you a text that says, hey, don't forget Q&A in 15 minutes. Go ahead and submit your question, all right? The way that you get that is just go to my stories and click on join the VIP list. It's absolutely free, okay? Oh, Shanti's originally from the Bronx. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so let us get into the Q&A. FYI, those who are subscribed to my page, if you are a subscriber, if you are subscribed to my page, I answer your questions first and I answer them the most thoroughly. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. All right, beautiful people, let us jump in. Is it okay to have screenshot pictures of IG models when in a relationship? Is it okay to have screenshot pictures of IG models when in a relationship? Okay, so I'm going to answer this the Align with Alison way, and then I'm going to answer this the Alison, I don't even know my last name anymore, Williams, Wellington, whatever the hell it is, way, okay? The Align with Alison way is, it is appropriate for you to have conversations with your partner about boundaries and the things that bother you, right? I think it is reasonable for a partner to be bothered when their partner has screenshots of what some may call as pornographic images, sexual images, especially when your physique, right, the one who's bothered, does not look like the images that the gentleman, I assume, has in his phone, right? Therefore, I'm not going to say, is it okay or is it not okay? If it bothers you, then there needs to be communication between you and your partner to say, hey, this offends me and this is why. This hurts my feelings and this is why. I assume, I did not look at your profile, you probably don't look like them, right? You may not have the physique. And so now it's a security issue or insecurity issue where it's like, well, I don't look like that. And if he's screenshotting these images and he's keeping it in his phone, I assume that means he's revisiting the images for God knows what, let's not share, then does that mean that he's not attracted to me? If this is what he finds attractive, so much so that he would screenshot it and leave it in his phone, that I'm only left to imagine that that is his preference. And if I don't match that preference, that means he's not attracted to me. That is a reasonable conclusion to draw. I don't think that that makes you insecure in order to draw it, right? This is where communication comes in. That is the line with Alison answer. The Alison answer, Alison Monique, once was Williams, now is Wellington answer is, it is absolutely inappropriate and offensive and need to delete them shits. What do you need to screenshot those images in your phone for? If that's the type of woman that you want to have your googly eyes over, then step your game up so you can afford that type of woman. Yes, I said afford, because many times those types of women are going to have a financial standard. And you probably, sir, do not meet that. And so since you probably do not meet that, right? Now we want to, quote unquote, settle and then make the mistake of allowing your girlfriend to see that you have settled, right? Nah, you need to delete them shits. And that's just the end of that. Oh, she's being insecure. Oh, if she had screenshots of large penises in her phone, walking all around with it, right? I am sure that this gentleman would not feel good about his penile size. As a result, be a decent human being. And that also goes behind, and I know that gentlemen are not a fan of this, the heart eyes, the excessive emojis underneath these chicks' pictures. If you're DMing them, you're damn near cheating on your girl. Okay? It's inappropriate. So I've given you the clinical response, and then I've given you the Brooklyn response. Either way it goes, choose how you see fit. Okay? Is it a red flag if my boyfriend suddenly puts a password on his computer after being inappropriate on it? Is it a red flag if my boyfriend suddenly puts a password on his computer after being inappropriate on it? Yes, it is a red flag. Now, let's say we stopped at, is it a red flag if my boyfriend has a password on his computer? I would say no. Most people have passwords on their devices, right? And it's not necessarily to keep their partner out, just as a general security thing. Many times devices require you to do so. But you've caught him doing something or having something that you at least deem as inappropriate, right? Now, if he agrees that it's also inappropriate, then what he should do is unlock the device. And this is if it was a man or a woman. He should unlock the device and give you access to the device so that the two of you can rebuild trust. Instead, he got caught doing something that at minimum you deem inappropriate. We don't know if he does, and maybe that's where the disconnect is here, right? He was caught doing something seemingly inappropriate, and his response is to double down and to lock you out so you don't catch him again. Outrageous. 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 It is an absolute red flag. That means he is continuing the behavior or worse and doesn't want to hear your mouth about it because how dare you complain? So this is problematic and you need to challenge him on this. Okay? Dating for 4 months, still not exclusive. How long should I wait? Dating for 4 months, still not exclusive. How long should I wait? Okay. So you guys know that generally speaking, if you've ever been on to my page, you know that I generally have about a 3-month quote unquote deadline for someone to be able to decide that you, out of all of the people that they're seeing, and yes, they have a right to see people because they're not committed to you yet, relatively within 3 months, someone should be able to decide whether or not you are the best fit for them. Right? That's my general rule. Of course, there are going to be exceptions to said rule, depending on your age, depending on how far you live from each other. Long distance may prolong this process because it takes longer for you to get to know and bond with this person. Generally speaking, my rule is 3 months. Now, you said that you've been dating for 4 months. I don't think this is the issue of quote unquote how long you should wait. I think this is an issue of what is necessarily taking him so long to decide and having the conversation about what more do you need to see, right? Like, I'm not necessarily going to put this on a calendar, but I'm going to say, hey, babe, we've been seeing each other for 4 months. I would like to take next steps. What do you need in order for you to make your decision, right? Like, I'm not going to say what's lacking, but what do you need in order for you to decide whether or not you're ready to commit now? What do you need, right? And then that hopefully will open the door of conversation to say, well, I don't feel confident about committing because of blank. Now, you may not like the answer. I'm going to tell you that right now. You may not like the answer as to why he says, I'm not ready to commit, and this is why. And you're not here to necessarily convince him. You're not here to challenge him. You're here to understand his point of view and then make your decision. I would not even go back and forth. Well, babe, you know, I'm really into you, but I'm not sure about commitment because of my finances. Babe, I'm not sure about commitment because of the conflict that you still have with your child's father. Babe, I'm not sure about whatever it is. We're not here to challenge it. We're here to understand it and then move accordingly. Like literally, not even understand, not like appreciate it. Just like, okay, that's what it is. So if that's going to change, then great. And if it's not going to change, then you already know what it is. But you're not going to sit around and wait forever. I would be proactive and I would ask, what is the delay? It's been 4 months. I feel like we've really made an amazing connection. What do you need in order for us to move forward? What is causing a delay on your end? And then whatever it is, you move forward accordingly. If it's fixable, you fix it. If it's not fixable, you don't fix it. You move on accordingly. Dating guy for 3 months says it takes him a while to open up deeper than surface level. Do I wait? Dating a guy for 3 months says it takes him a while to open up deeper than surface level. Do I wait? Okay, so the first thing is you guys already know, if you are not new, if you've seen my videos before, you know that I'm a believer in multi-dating. So there is no waiting, right? If you're dating this gentleman and you're dating another gentleman, 2 to 3, whatever your life can manage, it does not mean that you are sleeping with all of these people. Any of them, one of them, 2 of them, all of them, it's your choice. You're an adult. Just make sure that you're safe. It does not require sleeping with all of them, right? So it's not an issue of waiting, because you should not be exclusively dating this gentleman. You should be dating at least one other person. Now, and by dating meaning not in a committed relationship, spending quality romantic time. Now, once you're dating someone else, you can then decide whether or not you feel like this gentleman is worth you dropping the other dude to fully invest in him. But if you feel as though that there's been enough conversation, enough quality time, right? And I'll say this, and y'all might not like this. If he can sleep with you, but he can't tell you about his childhood, if he can sleep with you, but he can't tell you about some deeper emotion that he's feeling in the moment, I would like to reconsider this relationship, right? This pseudo relationship. I think it's very ironic when people say, oh, I don't feel comfortable sharing this, but you don't mind sharing your body, sharing your bed, sharing your money. Potentially you sharing bodily fluids, but you don't mind you have a problem with sharing if you've been through something when you were a kid. I'm not talking about, not like rape or molestation, but come on now. Like, we're so quick to, and it's funny, I did a live with a gentleman, and he said, women will say, oh, I'm not cooking for him. I'm not his wife. I'm not cleaning for him. I'm not his wife. I'm not washing his clothes, but you're willing to have sex. So I can give you my body, but I can't fry a piece of chicken. I can potentially risk my health, but I can't pick up some clothes that's on the floor. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be somebody's maid, nor am I saying that you need to prove yourself to someone. Like, look at me, I'm worthy, I cook, I clean, I take care of you. But it's just ironic to me that I think that folks are willing to give their body up, but they're not willing to, as he said, boil some broccoli. Nonetheless, you're not waiting. You should be talking to other people, getting to know other people, and then you can decide accordingly who you think is the best match, who's willing to open up, who's willing to invest in you, and you move forward with them, okay? Met 2 guys from an app, been on 4 dates with each. Good candidates, how do I narrow it? It's only been 4 dates. Why do you need to narrow it? Why are you concerned about narrowing so soon? It's been 4 dates. Now, I'm going to put out a timeline of events. I can be absolutely wrong. You met the guys on the app. You spoke for about a week or 2. You've been on a date once a week for the last 4 weeks. That equals 6 weeks. Why do you need to decide who you're going to commit to in 6 weeks, in 8 weeks, right? We just went through somebody talking about it's been 4 months. We all know and have experienced where many times gentlemen take an extremely long time, at least from our perspective as women, an extremely long time. So why do you need to decide in 6 weeks and these dudes could take 6 years if you let them, right? I say all this to say you don't need to narrow it down now. Now, a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, if you've decided that you want to narrow it down, you go back to your non-negotiables. What are the behaviors and traits that a gentleman must have in order for you to date them moving forward? When you go back, this is very simple. This is like the pros and cons list that we used to make when we were kids. Look at the gentleman, look at how they present, look at what they provide, look at their goals, look at their morals, look at their values, and decide who you think is the best match for you. Notice I haven't even said chemistry. Chemistry is at the bottom of that list. Yes, I said it. Chemistry is at the bottom. Chemistry can grow. I'm not saying that the person that you are dating could be ugmug. I don't want you to be unattracted to them, but chemistry can grow over time. That should not be your priority. Your priority should be goals, morals, values. Goals, morals, values, then chemistry. Okay? So you're looking at both gentlemen and you're deciding who's the most appropriate match. Okay? And then based on that, you then decide who you want to commit to. But you don't need to commit. So it's 4 dates. You don't even have enough information yet. You haven't been in a position, I assume, based on just 4 dates, to really decide who's an appropriate match. So hold off. Don't do a process of elimination yet. Continue to converse. Continue to spend quality time. Continue to assess. Continue to date. And then you could decide 3 months from now, 4 months from now, what is the rush? Especially if they're not pressing you. Okay? Just know, let me just say this, that they also may be pressed for time. I don't know. Gentlemen aren't normally. And so if they do press you, then you need to make a decision because you don't want to lose one or both of them because you're pussyfooting around. Okay? My boyfriend said he's uncertain about marriage. Is it normal for guys to be hesitant? My boyfriend said he's uncertain about marriage. Is it normal for guys to be hesitant? Okay, so we have 2 different issues here. Is it normal for guys to be hesitant? Yes. Hesitation and uncertainty aren't necessarily the same thing. Is it normal for guys to be hesitant? Yes, they want to be very careful about who they commit to. Men are not under the same level of pressure to get married like women are, right? Generally speaking in society, if you have a handsome gentleman who's unmarried, he's an eligible bachelor. If you have a pretty woman who's unmarried, it's what's wrong with her? Is she crazy? Right? It's unfortunate, but this is the nature of the game. This is the society that we live in. So for men to be hesitant when they are not pressured as much is reasonable. Also, men are under the impression, we can argue another day, that they have more to lose than women. Again, we can argue for another day. Generally speaking, in our society, men are under the impression they have more to lose, and as a result, they are going to be more hesitant. Right? They also have to be the one, generally speaking, to ask for a woman's hand in marriage, which is risky in the sense that she could reject them and potentially reject them publicly. So the hesitancy, I respect, I understand, I'm not even pushing back on. If he says he's uncertain about the sanctity of marriage, the institution of marriage, that is a different animal than generally men be hesitant about how quickly they jump into it. What do I mean? So what I would like is that if you believe in marriage, you believe in the sanctity of marriage, you believe in the institution of marriage, then anyone that you date should also believe in the sanctity of marriage and the institution of marriage. They believe in it. Then they decide whether or not you are the person that they want to be married to and when they want to do it. The hesitancy is, when do I want to do it? The uncertainty is, I don't even know if I believe in the institution. So it doesn't even matter if he's hesitant. If he doesn't believe in the institution of marriage, and this is and that's non-negotiable for you, then this is a waste of time, space, effort, energy, and questions on live Q&A. We need to go back to decide if your boyfriend even believes in the sanctity and institution of marriage before we talk about, is it normal for guys to be hesitant? Hesitant is, I believe in the institution, I'm just a little bit worried about what happens if things go wrong? What happens if she says no? We need to find out if this guy even believes in it. That's your first step, okay? How long should I talk to a guy on a dating app before going on a first date? How long should I talk to a guy on a dating app before going on a first date? All right, there are 2 schools here, 2 schools of thought when it comes to going on first dates based on strangers that you meet, okay? There is one school of thought that says you go on a date immediately because you want to be able to decide whether or not this person is even who they say that they are, i.e. catfishing, and whether or not there's any chemistry there before you even move forward. So that's one school of thought. I respect that school of thought. It is, however, not my school of thought. So one way to do it, you go out immediately. You connect on the app, you talk for a day, you meet in a public space, you decide whether or not there's even any chemistry, if there's anything that's like outlandish, if this person is who they say that they are. One school, not my school. My school of thought is I want to have conversations on the phone and potentially on FaceTime, Zoom, whatever video chat option the app may allow. Because one, I am not... Y'all see this? Okay. I am not prepping myself. And this is a non-prep. I am not prepping myself to go out on a date. I am not going on YouTube to figure out how to apply makeup. I don't know how to do no makeup, right? I am not taking my curlers out and taking my bonnet off. My subscribers know I wear my bonnet 24/7 unless I'm outside or with y'all on this, right? I am not taking a nice dress out of my closet. I am not finding my boots. Like, I'm not burning gas unless I know who you are, like you are who you say you are, and you are seemingly a good match based on, for me, a minimum of 2 weeks of consistent conversation. So my school of thought, before you go out on a physical date with someone that you met online specifically, or even in passing in public, I want 2 weeks of solid convo. I'm going to be asking you questions to assess if you're a good fit for me. I'm going to video chat with you to ensure that your face is your face, your hairline is your hairline, your physique is your physique, as a gentleman should do for me, as a gentleman should do for you. This is not one-sided. That is my preference and recommendation. Okay? You guys asked me a whole lot of how long. How long is a reasonable time to wait before meeting the person you're dating, kids? How long is a reasonable time to wait before meeting the person that you're dating, the person that you are dating's kids? Okay, that's a good question. So, the first thing that I recommend for people who have children, right, is that there should be a conversation and understanding between the parents. This is before anyone's going out on a physical date with anybody. There should be an understanding between the parents as to when it's an appropriate time for their children to meet girlfriends, boyfriends, partners, someone that you're dating, whatever. That is my belief. There should be an understanding first. So the parents decide, because guess what? The parents are the parent to the child. So I should have a say when my child is meeting potential partners of yours. You should have a say when your child is meeting potential partners of mine. Now, everyone may not be mature enough to be able to come to a consensus as to when that's appropriate. I hope that the parents are mature enough to do so, but in a perfect world, to answer your question, they should decide that. That should happen before any man or woman even comes into the picture, right? So if they decide, and a decision might sound something like, hey, John, we've been separated for a year now. I'm sure the both of us are dating. We should have a conversation as to when we feel comfortable introducing our child to somebody else. That's how you open it up, right? Then the person says, you're right. I think we should talk about it. Well, what standards are you looking for? What outline? What's the path, right? And then a suggestion would be, right, something along the lines of, well, how about we are dating the person for at least 3 months? How about we're dating the person for at least 6 months? How about we have a conversation with the person on the phone first before the child meets them, right? Maybe we have a meetup. You have to decide what the standards are. I don't know, and that's never going to become my problem, right? But that should happen. If the other parent is not mature enough, and I say this lovingly, you made a poor choice, and you're going to have to navigate this on your own. I would bring it up again every 6 months that passes. I'd bring it up again. We should have a conversation. What do you think is an appropriate timeline? How do you want to play this? And if they say, my son can't meet none of the dudes that you're dating, you can say, well, good luck to you, sir, because that's not going to happen, right? Because that's just not practical or realistic. So to answer your question, which is how long is a reasonable time to wait? First, the adults need to decide that. And whatever the adults decide is what they decide. If they say it's 6 months, then it's 6 months. If they both decided a year, which is outrageous, However, that's their decision, and that's what they say. If they say, I need to talk to her first, I need to talk to him first, I need to meet her first, whatever they decide is what you should go with, because what other choice do you have other than what they decided? If there's no decision that's been made, my recommendation would be that you should meet the children or be introduced to the children once both parties have decided that they are about to commit. It makes no sense to me whatsoever that anyone would introduce their children to someone that they're not going to commit to. Like when I say go, like tomorrow, like, look, we've been dating each other for the last 3 months. We've been dating for 4 months, 6 months, however long. We want to commit to each other. Before we take the plunge, I think it's best that we meet each other's children right before the commitment. Don't introduce people to folks who are not your boyfriend or not your girlfriend. That's unreasonable and that's excessive, because again, if you follow what I tell you, which is multi-dating, they're going to be meeting 20 people, and then how does that look to your child, right? The assumption is, which most people assume, they're sleeping with these people. You may not be. So did that right before commitment. Hey, we're talking about becoming committed. We're talking about exclusivity. Let's let the kids meet each other. Let's meet each other's kids and see if this is reasonable. You don't want to wait till after that, because now this is your man and he hates your kids and the kids hate him. Now what? Right before commitment. That is the recommendation. Was in a 4-year relationship. We broke up a year ago. Now have a 2-year-old. All right, that's 2-year-old. When to start dating again? Was in a 4-year relationship. We broke up a year ago. We now have a 2-year-old. When to start dating again? Well, we do not make decisions on when to start dating again based on how much time has passed between your last relationship, based on how long the former relationship is, and relatively speaking, not based on how old the child is. If the child is months old, you're not even sleeping right. Your brain, the fog ain't, trust me, you ain't even sleeping right. So if months old is ridiculous. Years old, then we're not talking 2 years versus 4 years versus he's a 7-year-old. That's long gone. We don't base it on how long it's been in between relationships, and we don't base it on how long the last relationship is. You start dating again when you're ready to start dating again. You start dating again when you're ready to start dating again. What does that look like? That looks like you are not harping on your ex, meaning you don't want any harm to come to them. You don't hate them. You're not holding on to any kind of malice towards the ex, because that is still a form of feelings that are, there's a thin line between love and hate, put it that way. Not where your heart drops when your phone rings because you're hoping and praying it's your ex who's trying to get back with you. You're not going back in the dating scene if you still hope to get back with your ex. You're not getting back into the dating scene if you are still crying over your ex. You are not getting back into the dating scene if you have any unresolved trauma related to that ex or related to anyone. Through your childhood, through another ex. We're not doing that. What we're doing is we're investing in our mental health. We're reaching out to a therapist, a counselor, a coach. We are processing our emotions. We are working on becoming better versions of ourselves. And then when we feel ready, we get back into the dating scene. That might be weeks for someone. That might be months for someone. Hopefully, it's not years for someone. But there's no hard and fast answer. If you are prepared, you are not harping on any good, bad, or indifferent emotions on your ex, you're not still actively crying over the ex, wanting to get back with them, and you don't have any deep-seated traumas that are unresolved, then you are ready. That's when you are ready. Okay? Dating is limited and hard in a small West Indian island. Small dating pool, no dating online app options. Any tips? Dating is limited and hard on a small West Indian island. Small dating pool and no online dating options, etc. Tips? It is hard when you don't have much of a pool. It is hard when you don't have much of a pool, okay? Sorry, guys, I have to institute the block party. It's been a long time since I had to block people from my lives, and it's A-okay. But we got to do what we got to do to make sure this is a safe space, right? And let me scroll through to see if there's anything else that's ridiculous, so I could block their asses too. Okay, I don't see anything ridiculous. Let's keep going. So this is not easy. This is not easy. This is not easy. This is not easy. And I actually saw this question come in and thought about it in advance. Let me tell y'all, most of the time I do not do this in advance. My baby was resting on my chest right here, and I had to think 3 times before letting her go to her dad before I even came on this live. I do not prepare. This is off the top. And I saw this question come in, and it ruminated in my mind like, damn, I don't have an answer for you. Having a small dating pool is quite difficult. What I would recommend, one, I still don't recommend long distance dating. And folks can write under their comments about how their relationship worked. Thanks, that you're one in a million. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you start expanding out in that regard. I don't know how small. I mean, I'm from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we have a population of like 170,000 people. So, and folks find love all the time. Like, they're coupled up all the time. Someone in the comments said move, if that's an option, okay? I would say continue to date in the pool that you have. If moving is an option, then cool. If you have a desire, then cool. But you need to date in the pool that you have. And you need to make it work in the pool that you have. Which may mean you may have to expand on. I didn't say settle. You'll read that as settle. You'll hear it as settle. I said expand. Expand on what you're looking for. Meaning, you have a small dating pool and your standard is a man who's 6 feet tall. It may have to be men who are 5'10". And you may have to be okay with that. Okay? If you're... Well, you said a small West Indian island. I was going to say race. I'm sure the majority of those people are probably all of African descent, but maybe there might be someone who's Indo-Caribbean. Maybe there's someone who's Asian. You may have to expand on that. Like, that would be my best recommendation. Yeah, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to read that one, but yeah. So that would be my recommendation. You need to expand on your standards, okay? And am I done? I cannot be done so early. Oh, snap. All right. I actually got some time, and I hardly do. Jay says, my new friend is 5'8", and I'm 5'7". All right. And we're going to see if things work out in the stuff that matters in terms of morals, values, and goals. Okay. So we actually do have some time. If there is anyone who is interested in joining the live, you have a question for me that you'd like for me to answer, you can go ahead and join the live by clicking on the camcorder. That's that little box thing with the cross in it. By clicking on the camcorder, and I will allow you onto the live. I'm only allowing people onto the live where I recognize your name and you don't seem like a weirdo. So if you don't have a picture or you look off, I am not going to accept it because I don't want to see anything weird on my screen, okay? But if you have a question in regards to dating, your relationship, anything of the sort, go ahead and request to join the live with me by clicking on the camcorder, which is pictured right there. Go ahead and click on it, request to join the live, and I will give you some insight. I'll give you some support for absolutely free. Make sure you take advantage because this is Alison in rare form. Do we have anyone who is interested in going live with me and I can address your question or your concerns? Okay. I saw this question earlier, but it disappeared and I was back again. So let me answer it. It was submitted yesterday. And this is, I guess, connected to the person who asked about the screenshots in the phone. Is it okay to have screenshot pictures? Maybe I did answer it. I could have sworn it was a different version of the same question. Maybe she deleted it and went back. Okay, so we covered that. Oh, okay, here we go. Is 3... we're going to have to resubmit this question, babes. Your @name starts with an F. I don't want to say it because I know this is anonymous, but you have to resubmit because this doesn't make any sense, okay? I'll read the other one. This guy I messed with for a year ghosts me time to time without an explanation. I already see a problem and I haven't even got through a third of your question. This guy I messed with for a year ghosts me time to time without an explanation. Should I tell him how I feel because it's eating me up internally and I want to communicate how I feel, although I know he doesn't care? Should I just leave it alone? All right, so let's start with a guy I messed with for a year, ghosts me time to time Let's start with the first part. Mess with for a year. What are we messing with for a year? What are we messing with for a year? A year is a significant period of time in one's life that they should not be messing in anything for a year. Okay? That's problematic, number one. Number two, ghost me from time to time. Why did he have an opportunity to return? Why did this gentleman have an opportunity to return? He ghosts you the first time. The ghost is not returning. You must become a ghostbuster. Because when this person disappears on you, especially if you've been intimate, has the audacity to try to come back, you allow this door to reopen? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You cannot allow this moving forward. You cannot, right? So this guy, you allowed him to mess with you for a year, and then he ghosts you time to time, which means you've allowed him to return. You need to leave this alone. You can tell him how you feel, right? For the sake of saying it, you already know that he doesn't care. His actions show that he doesn't care. So if it were me personally, my personality says, I'm not wasting my breath on someone that I already know is not going to give a F about what I have to say. However, I understand the desire to express yourself, and if you want to, cool, but know that he probably won't care because you already said that, and you'll have to end up leaving him alone anyway. Please leave the gentleman alone. Please. 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 Okay? Natalia says, what you allow will continue. Absolutely. Okay? And Jay said, we talked about this, that he's breadcrumbing you. He's giving you pieces of him over time, hoping that he can hold on. Don't waste your time. Okay? I'm going to take one more question. I have no one who wants to go live. Y'all scared? Don't be scared. Okay, I'm going to try to interpret what is said here. Is 3 months of dating too soon to sleep with a man? I think it's months is the word. I don't know if that's 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months. I'm going to put months in here, and that's my assumption that that's what you mean. Is 3 months of dating too soon to sleep with a man? I cannot answer that. I get a question that's similar to this almost every week, and I say the same thing. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry. This is Q&A, and I have no A. I cannot answer that question. Each person has to decide when it's an appropriate amount of time for them to be intimate with someone that they're seeing. You have to decide. It may be marriage. It may be commitment. It may be a date. I can't answer that. You have to decide as an individual what is an appropriate amount of time. And I'll even say, to be honest with you, I don't think that time is the only factor here. I think that you could potentially date someone for 3 months, sleep with them or not, date somebody else for 6 months, sleep with them or not. I wouldn't necessarily attach a timeline versus your level of comfort. That's what I would do. But I cannot answer that question. I'm so sorry. Last one for the evening. Boyfriend's mom is still in touch with his ex on social media and in real life. Address or ignore. Boyfriend's mom is still in touch with his ex on social media and in real life. Address or ignore. This is a great question. So this person is dating someone, and her boyfriend's mom is still in communication with the ex-girlfriend that he had before her. That's my understanding. If it were me, I would not address it. If it were me. Now, that might not be the clinical or appropriate response, and I'm not someone who's afraid of confrontation. I'm more concerned about how our relationship functions and whether or not he's still in communication with his ex. I don't think that you can control your potential mother-in-law, right? Future potentially mother-in-law. You can't control who she speaks with. Now, if you wanted to say, hey, Ma, hey, Mrs. such and such, I see that you're still communicating with Tiffany, and, it hurts my feelings that you still speak with her because I feel like perhaps you would prefer that your son stay with her instead of being with me. I can understand it. I can respect it. It's reasonable. That is a reasonable thing to do. I also would think about, her. How would she react? Is she a reasonable person? Do you think that she would respond reasonably? If you think she's a reasonable person, it bothers you, you think she could potentially stop after you explain, then fine. For me, I wouldn't even bother. I'll be honest with you. And not to say that my way is right. I'm just telling you what I would do. but I understand why you would want to address it. Okay. Oh, we have somebody who's brave. Sophia via live. So we're going to go ahead and take your questions. Sophia, go ahead and accept the request so that you can join us here on screen so that I can take your question unless that was done by mistake. If so, it's okay. And we will wrap up and I will go to my baby. So it's all good. Both my babies. Okay. Black Beauty says, leave it alone and focus on the relationship. Mike B says, leave that alone. A skincare routine, Melissa. It's scary. You don't even want to know. I use regular soap. And I shouldn't even be doing that. Regular soap and water. But thank you. Okay. All right, Sophia. I don't know. I don't know. I think we're missing each other. Or maybe you clicked it by mistake. But nonetheless, I am going to wrap it up here. It has been a pleasure. For anyone who is just joining the live, my name is Allison. I'm a certified dating and relationship coach. Every Wednesday, we do this live Q&A. And I save the lives. You can always check it out after the fact. Oh, I don't see a request accept option. I don't know, babes. On my end, it says you're unable to join. That's what it just told me. So next time, Sophia, okay? Every Wednesday we do this, and then I also have other lives with other experts and those with experience in the field. My next live is Monday. I have one on Monday, I have one on Wednesday. If you want to know when I'm going live, you like this content, you wanted to be in part of or enjoy or engage, I want you to click the link in my bio, and I want you to join the VIP list. Scroll all the way to the bottom. It is free, cheapos. Go ahead and join the free VIP list, and I will let you know when I'm going live, and I'll let you ask your questions in advance so you don't have to worry about not being able to join or what have you. It has been a pleasure. I appreciate all of you guys. Yes, Sophia, next time. Sophia is my sister's name, by the way, so you already have a special place in my heart. All right, folks, have a good one. Adios. Bye.